I'm with Al Tompkins from the Poynter Institute. Al, if you were going to tell writers one thing about focusing a story, whether it was for print, broadcast, or online, what would it be?
Well, I think it's the hardest thing that journalists and writers do, is to try to find exactly the focus of their story. Otherwise, they'll just sort of wander around and never quite come to the point, or else you'll make a point and sort of wander off of it. There's a writer named John Franklin, a two-time Pulitzer Prize-winning writer. He wrote a book called Writing for Story, and in that book, he said that you ought to be able to tell every story in 3 words: a noun, a verb, and an object. I sometimes call it who did what. And the verb is best if it's an active verb. That is something that's not a to be verb, not a state of being verb. Am, is, are, was, were, be, being, been. When you get ready to describe the story that you're going to write, maybe write a sentence. What is the story in 1 sentence? And then maybe 5 words. But try to narrow it down to 3 words. Who did what? Stories are almost always best told when they're narrow and deep instead of wide and thin. In other words, a lot about a little instead of a little about a lot. A little about a lot, you learn a lot of detail, but you don't ever feel anything, you don't really know anything, and at the end of it, it's unfulfilling. It's like grazing at a buffet instead of sitting down at a meal and really savoring it and really feeling it at the end of it all. So I like the idea of focusing stories, who did what, 3 words, who did what, and try very hard to make the middle word, the verb, an active verb. I'll give you a quick example of why that verb is so important. Let's say, for example, we were trying to describe America's involvement in Iraq. Did America save Iraq? Did America invade Iraq? Did America rescue Iraq, free Iraq, occupy Iraq? The verb will set the tone for the story, so choose it very carefully. It's a strong tool, but used well, it'll focus your stories.
Thanks, Al.